So, I'm a little ticked off right now because, well, this is a post-commentary. This is not the actual commentary that was recorded with me playing this particular video of the game. But, yeah, so in order to keep up with having a commentary on each of these Let's Play videos, I gotta record this. Just so you know, yes, this video was recorded during the fallout, the internal fallout I had with myself after the Xbox going in for repairs and my PS1 spindle breaking. And this was recorded just after the third Resident Evil video. Mario was still having his fight with that guy that he's no longer friends with. And I was just not doing too well. If I remember in the original commentary, I was just it did not take much to set me off. Like, I spent numerous time, like here, like you see how I tried to go back to the level select and it just took me all the way back to the main menu. You're gonna see as I attempt that more and more. And in the original recording, I got progressively more and more pissed off. So, that happened. And the main reason why I was trying to leave was because I didn't want to play another golf minigame, which you saw back there. But for now, I'm just playing the tag minigame. And of course, they dart off. Now, around this point, my dad actually came downstairs, and he saw, and honestly, I didn't want to get caught playing a freaking Rugrats game, because the last thing I needed was to be a bit of a laughing stock when I wasn't in a good mood. So, if my gameplay looks a little wonky, then there's your answer. Like, I was like debating whether or not to pause the game, or just to keep going. Well, sorry for the moment of silence. I'm just waiting to see when I did end up pausing the game and waiting for him to leave. Alright, now we're at that moment. So I'm gonna cut the part of the game that remained paused, and yeah, I'll be back when it cuts. Oh. Looks like we're back. Be aware that this commentary is not scripted. I'm just rewatching the recording and letting you know if anything interesting happened during particular moments. Spoiler alert, there wasn't much, because like I said before, I was not in a good mood back then, and I still kind of am not... sorry for my stuttering, I'm still kind of not in a good mood now. Brandon ended up going and buying me a replacement PS1 that I could just hook up my old cords to, but at the same time, that hasn't arrived yet. And I'm not certain if it's going to work. And even if it does work, if it breaks on me, nothing I can do about it. Whereas if I went to my retro game store, if I bought one from there, I could have got a bit of a warranty on it. Then again, the warranty was probably not going to last long. And it might take years. If it breaks, it might take... If it's in good condition, which it should be, because Brandon claimed that the seller is going to pick out the best one of like a stockpile of replacement PS1s he has, and then just pick the one that's aesthetically looks the best and operates the best. And even if it works well, God forbid it breaks, it might take years. This PS1 took like 20 years to break. Even then, it was only in use for about 10 of those years. And it's possible that it being under bad care by one of its owners, not me, hasten the decay of the spindle. I don't know, because when I got it back, it was covered in dust and like other shit, and it wouldn't read discs at first, but I cleaned it out, and sure enough, it started reading them. So, I don't know. Meanwhile, I've started the mini golf game, and I'd tell you, coming straight out of playing the mini golf minigame in Thrillville, I did not understand the momentum needed to play the mini golf game here, because it's been a while since I recorded Rugrats Studio Tour. I don't even know how long it's been since I recorded a Rugrats mini golf game, because it looks like Studio Tour has more than one mini golf game in it. And yeah, just give it a minute. See? Oh, never mind. I did good on this hole. But
can you do it again?
That's not good. Spoiler alert, it's not going to last for long. Maybe it was because I was in a really bad mood, but maybe I shouldn't have recorded. But then again, at the same time, this video wasn't entirely gone to waste because the tag minigame was successful. And throughout the mini golf game here, I collected all the extra keys and got a bunch of Reptar bars to get more keys. And I'll just say, by the end of this, I was begging, pleading, and crying for the game not to require me to beat the mini golf game. Now, this game's not that bad. Like, I've definitely played worse, but yeah. I think I was more mad because of my bad mood. Meanwhile, I'm wondering if I'll have to play the Rugrats movie Game Boy Color game as well as the various GBA games that came out, now that I have a Game Boy player.
Well, I tried my best.
Because I'll tell you one thing, the Game Boy Color game based on the Rugrats movie pissed me off when I was a kid. Mostly because I couldn't figure out how to pass the third level. And then when I recently played the game, I found out you had to collect every single item in the level and then go to the exit. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. I thought that hitting it that low was enough. Turns out, not according to the game. Look at this. You would think that hitting it that soft would just simply put it in, especially since you're so close to the hole. But I guess Rugrats games don't know how golf physics work. Whatever, I guess. Now, if I did have to play this minigame again in order to beat the game, I would take a look at this recording and learn from it. So. And don't worry, a few holes from now, I do figure out how to skip this little cutscene. If you feel it's a little redundant. Up, see, there's one of the keys.
Ah, water fountains for giants.
Oh man.
Too soft. You didn't eat all of your vegetables.
I guess you could say I didn't hit it that hard because I didn't want to overshoot it.
Are you playing with a putter or a cannon?
Meanwhile, at one point, I do, like, kind of give up on the Reptar bar collecting.
I don't think I can do this.
And, yep, I fucked up on this hole, too. Or wait, I didn't. Never mind. I thought it... See, I'm having trouble remembering this video. Sorry about that. I guess I'm losing myself. And now this hole admittedly is gonna piss me off as well because of the sand physics. I probably should have hit it at full power because of what you just saw right there. Seriously, I guess I was in such a bad mood that I couldn't think of the thought that maybe I should hit harder than I normally would because this is a Rugrats game after all. And now I think I fuck up here too because of the sand. See? Like, it's right on the edge. Like, sure, you've movies like Caddyshack and even TV shows like The Fairly Odd Parents stereotype that kind of situation with a golf ball. But seriously, didn't it look like it was kind of floating over the hole with nothing to support it? And now, let's see if I'm just as successful. In this hole. Oops.
I meant to do that. Oops.
Oh, wow. Phil took the words out of my mouth. And now we're collecting the Reptar bars and the ritual over here.
Hey, this is hard.
Wow. That's like a recurring comment that they say, "Oh, this is hard. Oh, this is hard." Well, many of them can't even speak yet, and they expect playing golf to be easy. Now it's Susie's turn. I think it was here when I finally decided enough fucking around, hit it full blast. And see? Actually worked out pretty well so far. Now I try to hit it again. And let's just say the results are unpleasant because I did not aim properly. Ouch. I don't even remember how I reacted to that. You could definitely say I was not happy. Wow. That random pause right there probably was telling.
Watch out!
And then I just decided I had nothing to lose, so hit it as hard as I can, even though I didn't. And now it's sunk, the ball did, but the video is just glitching out on the Elgato, even though it's still moving at the same speed, so I don't think I have to resync the video. Oh, yeah. I might have considered getting Mario into this post-commentary, but maybe it should just be by myself to maintain the illusion of what the original recording was like that doesn't exist. And besides, I was in a call with him, Hawk, and some of Hawk's friends. And I don't know, I'm just not in the mood for Hawk, Tobin, or any of the strange antics of some of my collaborators. Yesterday, Brandon and Mario were watching a couple of videos involving that Whoa meme that spawned with Crash for some reason. And I honestly do not like that meme because not only do I think Crash's face looks stupid in the meme, it's also all over the place, very repetitious. I don't even think it was that funny to begin with. And videos of the meme keep appearing in my recommendations list, even though I keep telling YouTube I don't want to see them. So, yeah, when they were watching a few videos and laughing their asses off, I actually quietly left the Skype call because, honestly,
Well,
I know I keep going on about a piece of plastic, but still. On Saturday's podcast, which by the time I upload this video will be tomorrow, you're gonna understand why that PS1 and all my other game systems were so important. It's because I barely had... Well, I'll just spoil it right now. It's because I never had many friends... I'm not saying I had no friends. I had a couple, but, they were a few most of them were a few years younger than I am, and they certainly did not go to school with me. Like, one of them's like a neighbor I have, and a couple of others, live... Like, another one who appeared in some early videos with me, he lives across town, and another couple of friends I had were twin brothers. They live another state away, so I didn't see them too much. And certainly in school, especially my middle school, I did not really have friends. And I got bullied. And when I look back now, that bullying was kind of not justified, but I kind of had it coming because I was a weird kid, to put it bluntly. And yeah, really the only thing I had to look forward to at the end of the day was the ability to play my PlayStation 2. Until I ended up getting not the worst grades, but I was getting a lot of C's and not generally not exceeding, and my mom and dad ended up taking away my privileges to play games on the weekdays, with the intent being that I could focus on school better. And I tell ya, sometimes weekdays can be freaking miserable. Because on the very rare occasions I was invited over to someone's house, I was not the kind of kid that liked playing outside. I didn't do any sports or anything. And I remember a few occasions where the kids of a few family friends of my dad and my ma were actually, or better yet, the family friends of my mom and my dad, at least... oh, sorry. On at least one occasion, I was invited over to their house to play with their kids, play games with them. The invitations would be declined nearly every time because they would come on weekdays, and I was not allowed to play games. I remember on the phone once, my dad was talking with someone, and I don't know exactly what they asked, but my dad looked over to me and he said, "He's not allowed." So, in an effort to make me care about school better, it denied me some chances to socialize, but honestly, I don't know if it would have been much better, even if I did have my privileges intact. And meanwhile, getting back to the video quickly, basically what you're seeing right now is a montage of me trying to get back to the level select. And every time it brought me back to the main menu instead, I just raged harder and harder. At one point, Mario even called me. I think it was around the 25, 26 minute mark. And, I got him in the call, and then I found out his audio wasn't working, so I actually stopped the video to check and see if my audio was even being recorded the whole time, and turns out it wasn't, so here I am right now. But anyways, getting back to my little story. Yeah. I remember once my sister had a friend in middle school, and towards the beginning of one summer, we actually started going over to his house, both me and my sister, and we were starting to get acquainted. And I don't know if it was his mom, his gram, or his aunt, or I think it was his mom, some kind of, she was always very welcoming to us. And then at one point, his dad came home and saw us there. And then, he, with a smile on his face, noted, "Oh, your mom and dad called. Looks like you gotta get going, huh?" And then, as soon as summertime began, I actually asked my sister if we were gonna go over to his house at one point. And, my sister revealed that we were banned from going to his house. Turns out his dad was very, 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 very strict. He always had he could not focus on anything outside of school or his activities.
All right. Hold your ponies, Captain Crook.
Or at least excuse me. Or so I've heard. So, yeah.
I'll be back.
I'll discuss more of the early incidents that led to my overall antisocial behavior in middle school and high school in the podcast when it comes. But let's just say that when I was a little kid, I was super weird, and
Did I do that?
needless to say, I don't think I would have been friend material to anybody back then, but I somehow was. And despite that, when I was young, I was a social butterfly. Anytime I saw a kid my age, I would just walk up to him/her and try to befriend them.
I can get a kiss.
And that started declining as my elementary school years went on. I was still able to be very social with my actual classmates because I had known them for years at that point, and I was just accustomed to talking to them. Once I got to middle school, when there were still some people from elementary school that followed me to my middle school, but there was just as much new people that I did not recognize at all. And that's when the bullying got worse. And eventually, I just decided, couple that with my GameFAQs experience that I told in an earlier Rugrats Studio Tour video, I just kind of cracked. I did not want to take any risks anymore. Anyone I didn't already know, I wasn't talking to. So that I'll go more into depth with that in the new podcast episode, which the whole topic is bullying, considering what happened to Mario during the recording of this video. And meanwhile, as you see, I managed to find a way back to the level select by exiting from the pause menu as opposed to going through the door. What kind of logic is that? But anyways, I'll see you in the next video.